You know what the hot new thing is for lazy game devs? Yep, remakes and remasters. These have been pretty fucking popular as of late. I would argue you don't even need to buy a PS2 these days. All the great PS2 games have been remade for PS3 and PS4. I actually really like remakes. I tend to really eat them up, I'm not gonna lie. I guess I don't mind spending another $60 for a game I've already played 4 times, cause fuck my life, I wanna play it a 5th time. But I gotta put some big facts on the table right now. A remake is very different than a remaster. A remake is something that's more or less made from the ground up. Something like Crash Insane Trilogy or Mario 64 DS or like Fire Emblem Echoes. While a remaster is more of just like an enhanced port that you end up spending $60 on, like Skyrim Remaster or Wind Waker or Kingdom Hearts 1.5. They may add some tweaks and maybe some extra stuff, but these aren't what I'd call a full remake. But either way, these are both really fun to get. I love to dream, so here's a list of remakes and remasters I personally would love to see. This is in no order, I just really want to talk about games that I want to see. The Superstar Saga remake that came out last year literally had me drooling at my screen. It felt almost surreal to see a game that I felt I loved so much compared to other people get a remake 15 years later. I felt no one was asking for it. Except for me. Seriously though, where did this even come from? I have a theory that Alpha Dream didn't want to conform to Miyamoto's Mario canon BS that he keeps pushing and end up like Paper Mario. So they just decided to remake a good one instead of making a new bad one. But this means possibly a Partners in Time remake next.
Nintendo DS classic Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story is back for more gut-busting adventures.
Oh, yeah!
Or not? I guess they just skipped Partners in Time? I guess I understand why, but it's such a catch-22 in my opinion. While Bowser's Inside Story is the more popular and arguably better game, I feel like that just makes Partners in Time more suitable for a remake. They could fix so many gameplay problems. Its story and setting is great, so hopefully they wouldn't change that. But the stupid item system and tedious bosses really bogged that game down. This is something I would really love to see, but sadly I'm not sure I ever will. I feel skipping 2 and going straight to 3 was basically them saying, yeah, we only had the budget for 2 remakes and we chose the first game and the third game. It's sad, but sometimes the more deserving game doesn't really ever get a remake just because it's not as popular. Segueing. People really want a Persona 3 remake. Personally, I have a better idea. You know what games deserve a remake more than Persona 3? Yeah, Persona 1 and 2. Persona had a total of 2 games before 3, can you believe it? I've never actually played these games, but I've heard really good things about the story and the characters. The gameplay, I've heard less than desirable things about. They're old RPGs, what do you expect? Okay, so hear me out. So, you remake Persona 1 and 2 using the engine and the assets from Persona 5. Add some super slick visuals and redesign the characters to fit more into the character design style of the newer games. Basically, you re-add it to the Persona canon. I know a lot of people love these 2 original games, so don't mess with them too much. Keep the story elements and the atmosphere all the same, but just give them that, like, modern Persona polish. And Persona 3, 4, and 5 all are represented by the primary colors, symbolizing different tones from each game. So Persona 1 and 2 could be black and white, symbolizing maybe some sort of emptiness or darkness. I don't know, man, I'm just making this shit off the top of my head. But man, I feel like that shit writes itself. I really want these games to get more attention, even from me. I feel a remake of these games could add a lot of context to the series as a whole also. So yeah, there you go, Atlas, you're welcome. You can use that one. I just require 20% of the profit. Anyways, let's talk Mario Party. Richie, they already made a Mario Party compilation on the 3DS? Shush, that wasn't a remake, that was like a minigame compilation, and a pretty shitty one at that. Minigames are only like, what, 65% of the fun of Mario Party? There's the boards, there's the characters, there's the stealing items, there's the random blocks that give you a fucking star, cause you know, that's really fucking fair. There's a lot to love about the early Mario Party games, and I would argue 2 is probably the most loved, so that one should get a remake. So what would Nintendo need to do to make sure this remake is great? just add online. Literally, just add fucking online play. Like, I know this one sounds kind of lame, but all you gotta do is add online. It's something that's been missing from the Mario Party series for, 12 years now? I know there's a big, fun, couch multiplayer kind of aspect to Mario Party, but have you checked the calendar? It's 2018. I love couch multiplayer, but I would never dismiss online multiplayer. I've had so many great memories with online games. But seriously, Nintendo, I already got the title set up for you. Just call it Mario Party 2 Online Edition. Say those words at a Nintendo Direct, and I guarantee you'll have all of our wallets by the balls. Yo, Saga, can we get an HD remaster of the Monkey Ball games, please? Yeah, cool, thanks. Sometimes games can struggle because of the hardware they're on. Controls are a big part of it. Sometimes you just don't want to waggle that darn Wiimote, and sometimes you don't want to move the camera with the fucking touchscreen. Icarus Uprising is such a charming and fun video game. If you like anime and you also like games made by Sakurai, which I think applies to a lot of people, you will literally eat this shit up, and if you just so happen to have 3 hands, you may be able to even play it. But this is obviously just due to it being on the fucking 3DS. If you could control the camera with an analog stick, a lot of the problems would be fixed. So just port it to the Switch. Nintendo, I know you've got the game's files there somewhere. Just spend some money and port it. It was such a good game and got such unneeded heat for its controls. You have a really solid game on your hands. You just need to remake it on a console that it works with. Or make a sequel. I'm not that picky, either would work. I just really want to play this game without breaking my wrist. I think I gotta have a compilation game on this list. They are all the rage these days. You know one series that deserves it big time? Cooking Mama! Fuck yeah, dude! Nah, these games are too legendary to remake. I guess Layton would work too. The Layton games, while they were really defined by the DS's hardware, I think would work pretty well on the Switch. They probably would have worked better on the Wii U, but that's a boat that's already sunk. The touchscreen could be used in place of the bottom screen stuff, and you could give the graphics the old Phoenix Wright trilogy treatment. Maybe not. You remake all the art assets, you bundle all 3 games in a fun little Layton combo pack. I feel more people should play these games. They have a lot of personality, and the puzzles are really addicting and fun. But not these ones. These ones aren't good. Alright, so the last one I want to talk about is a game that I truly believe nobody knows about. You know the company Vanillaware? They make those beautiful games, those beautiful games. Yeah, their art is seriously next level in those games. They ain't too shabby in the gameplay department either. A lot of their games have been seeing remakes and remasters recently. Muramasa, Odin Sphere, Dragon's Crown, didn't that, just come out? But many people don't know of the director, and I apologize if I butcher this name, George Kamitani's first game, Princess Crown. Probably because it sold super poorly and never came outside of Japan. Oops! It was originally on Sega Saturn and eventually got remade on the PSP, but come on, that's basically just a port. I actually own the import Sega Saturn version, and I really like the game. You can totally see how this game influenced almost all of the later Vanillaware games, especially Odin Sphere. And while this game looks already freaking beautiful, I would love to see Kamitani's take on the art these days. Which, by the way, did I mention is fucking amazing? Maybe it's just a spoiled artist in me that wants this to happen, but to be honest, I just want the game to be easier to play. I literally had to have a translation guide website circa 1999 open on my laptop while I played the game like some sort of fucking caveman. It's part of the company's history, so I think it'd be really cool to see an HD makeover, and even an official English release. So if you have an import Sega Saturn, or an import PSP, and can also read fluent Japanese, I recommend picking up this game, if you can find it for a good price. Yeah, okay, this really needs a remake. So, those are some really cool remakes that could or could not happen at some point in the future. This is obviously just a list of me dreaming of what could be, but dreaming is fun. I always love to hear what kind of games people would want to see. It really brings out the passion in people, and I love to see that. It's a really positive thought, and I think it keeps people's spirits up. Dreaming is nice, so don't let anyone take that from you. I've seen some gamers out there be a little too cynical in my opinion. They think it helps to lower expectations so people be less disappointed, but that's not really the point of all this. It's not like if these games don't come out, I'm gonna cry. I just want to talk about games I'd love to love in the future, and maybe some others can relate to that passion. But God, please, Sega, make Monkey Ball HD or I actually will cry. Thank you so much for watching. Oh my god. This has been quite a process editing this video. I've spent a lot of time on this for some reason. So I really appreciate it if you sat through the whole thing. I plan on doing more like this in the near future, so look forward to that. Thanks again.